G'day, legends. Out here, in the vast, sun-baked heart of New South Wales, there's a place where the very land seems to breathe, slow and deep, like an old beast settled down for a long rest. It's a place where silence ain't just the absence of noise, it's a thick, heavy blanket woven from ancient memories. And winding right through the guts of it all, you've got the Namoi River. Now don't go thinking this is just any old stretch of water, mate. This river, she's a proper lifeline, a shimmering, coiling serpent of blue and green, snaking through the ochre-red veins of this country. She kicks off up near the Moonbi Range, spilling down from those rugged hills like a quiet thought, a trickle that gathers strength and purpose. Then she meanders, slow and steady, past the bustling country towns of Narrabri and Gunnedah, dragging centuries of time and countless stories along with her. She don't stop till she finally gives herself over completely to the mighty Barwon. But let me tell you, this ain't just a river in the way most folks understand them. This one, she doesn't just flow, she remembers. Every single ripple, every deep, dark pool, every whisper of wind through the reeds, it's all part of her memory, etched into the very fabric of the land. For countless millennia, long before any Europeans set foot on these ancient banks, the Namoi was, and still is, the absolute heart and soul of the Kamilaroi people. They're the traditional custodians of this land, the ones who've looked after it, understood it, and lived in harmony with it since the dreaming began. They don't talk about the Namoi as something separate from themselves, see? To them she's kin, she's blood. A presence so old, so deeply ingrained, that her stories ain't just told around a campfire, they're felt. You feel them in the way the reeds lean just so at dusk, in the sudden hush that falls between the calls of the kookaburras, in the way the dust settles different after a good, cleansing rain. Their dreaming, their very spiritual essence, it pulses right beneath the waterline, a vibrant living force. This river, she holds secrets that are older than any conquest, older than the very idea of time itself. These ain't just legends, Cobber. This is law. This is the truth of the land, etched into every rock and every current. And if you're quiet enough, if you listen with more than just your ears, you can feel it. You can feel the weight of all that history, all that ancient wisdom, just waiting to be acknowledged. It's a profound connection, a spiritual bond that transcends mere existence, a truth that echoes beneath the surface, waiting for those who are willing to truly listen. Imagine yourself standing there right on her bank as the sun starts to dip behind the gnarled old gum trees, painting the sky with colors so raw and vibrant they feel almost too intense to look at directly. The air, it gets thick, not just with the heat, though there's always plenty of that out here. No, it's thick with something else, like a breath held deep in a chest, a palpable presence. Stand there alone, just for a moment, and you'll know it. That uncanny stillness, the way your skin tightens, almost as if it's been touched by something unseen, something that's been watching you long before you even arrived. The Kamilaroi folks, they reckon the veil's thinner here. The barrier between the waking world and whatever lies just beyond, just below the surface, it's almost transparent. You don't just see it with your eyes, mate, you feel it. Like phantom fingers brushing the back of your neck, like being watched, kindly or maybe not so kindly. It's a feeling that sticks with you, a subtle reminder that you're in a place where the ancient and the unknown are still very much alive. And still, through it all, the water keeps moving. Steady and slow she goes, dragging long, dark shadows behind her as the light fades. Some folks, they reckon she sings. Not like a tune you'd hum, mind you. More like a story been muttered low, just beyond the reach of clear understanding. A deep, resonant murmur that coils in your gut and makes you wonder if what you're hearing is real, or if the river's finally started to whisper directly to you too. It's a call from the depths, a siren song of secrets, pulling you closer to the heart of the mystery. This river, she's a living, breathing entity, and her voice, though subtle, is impossible to ignore once you've truly heard it. She's got stories to tell, and she's not afraid to share them if you're brave enough to listen. The Namoi, She's more than just a river. She's a keeper of ancient truths, a silent witness to everything that has come before and everything that is yet to be. Her pulse is the pulse of the land, and her whispers are the echoes of eternity. Now the Kamilaroi people, with their deep, ingrained understanding of this country, they don't speak of the Namoi as something separate from themselves. Nah, mate. It's kin, it's blood, a proper, living presence so ancient that its stories ain't just told around a crackling campfire, they're felt. You feel them in the way the reeds lean just so, when the sun's dipping low at dusk, in the sudden respectful hush that falls between the calls of the birds, and in the way the dust settles different, softer, after a good, cleansing rain. They're dreaming. Their very spiritual essence, it pulses right beneath the waterline, a vibrant living force that's been there since time immemorial. Out here, names carry a fair bit of weight, see? And some things, well, they just ain't meant to be summoned with language, not out in the open. That's why the Kamilaroi don't speak lightly of the beings that dwell beneath or alongside the Namoi. They don't go around naming them unless they absolutely have to, yet the stories, they persist. Tales of watchers in the reeds, of shapes in the mist that ain't mist at all, just fleeting glimpses of something that moves with a purpose beyond our ken. And then there are the water spirits, often called bunyips by some, though that word, it feels a bit too blunt, a bit too clumsy for what these presences truly are. These ain't just monsters, Cobber. They're something else entirely. Remnants, maybe. Guardians. Warnings wrapped in skin made of water and shadow, a subtle reminder of the power that resides in these ancient waterways. If you were to ask around the campfires, under that vast star-dusted sky, you'd hear the whispers. The tale of a young fella who went down to fetch water, just a simple chore, but he came back with his hair white as bone, his lips sealed forever, unable to speak of what he'd seen. Or the story of the young girl who vanished near that sharp bend where the river narrows, and how on moonless nights a second set of footsteps still follows anyone brave, or foolish, enough to dare draw near. But it ain't just the horror that sticks with you, it's the sheer weight of it all. The sense that something is always watching, not necessarily to harm, but to remember, to bear witness to every life, every loss, every secret held within the river's embrace. It's a profound, unsettling feeling that reminds you of the deep spiritual connection the Kamilaroi people have with this land, a connection that transcends mere physical presence. They say the river speaks most clearly when it's silent. When the wind drops completely and the air presses in close, heavy with unspoken truths, that's when you can truly hear things. If you're still enough. Words that don't belong to any known tongue. Sounds that wrap themselves around your spine, sending shivers down your back. And if you're foolish enough, or maybe just curious enough to reply, to utter a sound in response, the river, she will answer. But not always kindly, mate. Sometimes her reply is a sudden, inexplicable chill, a fleeting shadow, or a whisper that seems to come from right beside your ear, even when there's no one there. It's a chilling reminder that out here, in the heart of the outback, the line between the natural and the supernatural is often blurred, and the ancient spirits of the land are always listening, always present, always ready to make their presence known to those who dare to listen. It's more than just a flicker at the corner of your eye, or a breath that doesn't belong to you. It's the sound of water where there should be none, a sudden splash in the dead of night when no creature is near. These ain't just stories out here, Cobber. They're signs. The Kamilaroi people, they know 'em well, passed down from elder to child in the shape of warnings, of teachings, of deep, abiding reverence for the land and its mysteries. And though the rest of the world might scoff, might dismiss it as mere superstition, out here it's different. Out here, disbelief is a dangerous luxury, because the river, she holds her secrets close, and she doesn't suffer fools gladly. She demands respect, And if you don't give it, well, you might just find yourself caught in her ancient embrace, lost in the whispers of the dreaming, forever a part of the Namoi's unending story. It's a powerful lesson, etched into the very soul of the land, a reminder that some truths are felt, not just seen. Now, when the first European settlers rocked up, full of grit and a fair bit of naivety, the Namoi River, which had been a sacred artery for millennia, suddenly became a frontier. It was a proper clash of cultures, a collision of worlds, mate. The relentless push for land, for resources, for a new life, it brought a whole new set of narratives to these ancient banks. And with those new narratives came a fresh batch of mysteries, ones born from the sheer, unforgiving nature of the outback itself. This vast, sprawling, often brutal landscape, combined with the sheer isolation and the complete lack of communication, it made this place a bloody magnet for disappearances. People could just vanish, swallowed whole by the bush, leaving behind nothing but a stack of unanswered questions and a lingering, unsettling unease that hung in the air like a summer storm. Stories started to spread, whispered around the few scattered campfires, tales of early settlers who just disappeared without a trace, prospectors, chasing the glint of gold, venturing too far into the unknown, families, desperate for a fresh start, losing their way in the dense, trackless bush. Or just individuals, plain and simple, succumbing to the harsh, brutal realities of this environment. These weren't always dramatic, violent events, mind you. Sometimes it was a slow, insidious fading, a quiet absorption into the immense, indifferent landscape. The river, which had always been a guide, a source of life, could suddenly become a silent accomplice to their disappearance, its relentless currents carrying away every last shred of evidence, leaving no clue behind. It was a chilling thought that the very thing that sustained life could also be the silent witness to its abrupt end. Just try to wrap your head around the sheer scale of the challenge these pioneers faced, Cobber. They had no proper maps. Their supplies were always on the verge of running out, and they were up against an environment that was utterly, completely alien to their European sensibilities. Every single journey they undertook was a gamble, a roll of the dice against overwhelming odds. Every new settlement they tried to carve out of the wilderness was a testament to sheer, bloody-minded will. But the outback, she's got a way of humbling even the most determined of souls. She'll chew you up and spit you out if you ain't careful. The stories of the lost, they serve as a stark, grim reminder of the river's immense power, not just as a source of life, but as a silent, unblinking witness to countless untold tragedies. The echoes of their struggles, their desperate hopes, and their ultimate, often lonely demise, they still resonate along these shadowed banks, a haunting symphony of what once was. Take the Malorys, for instance. A family, solid folk by all accounts, who set up their homestead near a gentle elbow of the river, just east of Boggabree. They built a sturdy hut, planted their crops with hope in their hearts, and even traded fair and square with their Kamilaroi neighbors during the good seasons. Then one spring, when the river was running high, but not dangerously so, a neighbor came by for a yarn and found the place completely emptied. Food was still on the table, tools neatly stowed away, no signs of a struggle. Not a single footprint beyond their own, just one thing out of place. The door, half open, swaying gently with a breeze that hadn't even rustled the leaves on the trees. No trace of the Malorys was ever found, just the bones of their loyal dog, curled up by the hearth, as if still waiting for them to come home. Locals say that in the right light, you can still see a thin wisp of smoke rising from that spot, almost imagined, even though nothing stood there for nearly 100 years. It's a chilling tale, one that speaks volumes about the silent, often inexplicable way the outback can claim its own. And the river, she doesn't speak in thunder, mate. She speaks in absences, in the sudden, eerie hush of the birds, in water that moves just wrong for a fleeting moment, a ripple that shouldn't be there. And to those early settlers, unfamiliar with this ancient rhythm, it must have felt like the very land was folding in around them, swallowing them whole. Some fought it, raged against the unseen forces. Others just faded slowly, quietly, as if they were forgetting their own shape, their own existence, until they were just another part of the vast, indifferent landscape. Even the ones who survived, who made it through, they weren't untouched. They carried it with them, that haunted look in their eyes, like they'd glimpsed something that wouldn't fit in a church or a ledger. A few tried to tell their stories, their harrowing experiences, but fewer still were believed. Because how do you describe a darkness that wasn't cruel, just waiting? A presence that wasn't malevolent, just constant, patient, and utterly beyond human comprehension? The Namoi, she just flowed on, constant watching, holding every name ever spoken along her banks, and a few that were only ever whispered, now lost in the sediment, but still present if you know how to listen. She's a silent witness to a history that's both beautiful and brutal, a testament to the enduring power of the Australian wilderness. As the scattered settlements along the Namoi began to grow, to properly dig their heels into the red earth, so too did the desperate need for connection. Roads were carved out of the bush, fences started to bite into the land, and rail lines snaked their way across the vast distances. And then there were the bridges. They were thrown across the Namoi like bold declarations, like a defiant challenge to the river itself, as if timber and iron could somehow tame its ancient, relentless flow. Most of them held, a testament to human ingenuity and sheer bloody-mindedness. Some didn't, but every single one of them, without fail, changed something profound. Not in the water itself, mind you, but in the very way the land listened, in the way the river whispered its secrets. Take the Manila Bridge, for instance. She's a grand old dame, with her iron bones and timber breath, standing proud, where the Namoi bends just enough to feel like it's got a mind of its own. She's held her shape for over a century, a silent sentinel over the flowing water, watching the world change around her. But the shape of her silence, that's what's truly shifted. Folks who've walked her alone, especially when the sun's dipping low or the moon's high, they'll tell you, she speaks. Not always with words you can understand, not like a human voice. Sometimes it's the phantom clatter of hooves echoing long after the last horse and cart have passed into history. Sometimes it's a high, thin laughter, caught in the very grain of the old timber, a sound that sends a shiver right down your spine. There was one bloke, a council worker, doing some late maintenance on the bridge, said he heard a violin. Just a few notes, mind you, like something remembered wrong, a mournful tune drifting on the breeze. He looked around, but there was no one else. No wind to carry a sound like that, just that slow, haunting melody slipping through the beams, seeming to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. He doesn't work nights anymore, not on that bridge. He reckons it's not the bridge itself that's haunted, see? The elders, they say it's what was stirred when it pierced the river's skin. The Namoi, she doesn't bleed in red, mate. She bleeds in memory. And when you bind her with nails and heavy iron, something ancient takes notice, not out of malice, but out of a deep, primal need for balance. Some of the locals, the ones who've lived here for generations, they reckon the Manila Bridge is a crossing in more ways than one. Between banks, sure, that's obvious, but also between layers, between the seen and the half-seen, between the waking world and the dreaming. There's a spot, right dead center on the bridge, where the acoustics shift in a way that defies logic. You speak, and your voice comes back bent, distorted, different. It's not like a normal echo, not a simple reflection of sound. It's like something else is replying, in your own voice, but not quite. A subtle, unsettling mimicry that makes the hairs on your arms stand up. It's a constant, unnerving reminder that even in places built by human hands, the ancient mysterious forces of the land are still at play, still making their presence known in ways we can barely comprehend. And yet, people keep crossing, because that's what we do, isn't it? We build over the things we fear, hoping that concrete and steel will somehow outlast the uncanny, that our modern structures can somehow tame the wild heart of the land. But the Namoi, she's got patience. She flows under every rivet and every bolt, brushing against their undersides like a constant gentle reminder. You can build a bridge across a river, mate, but you can't bridge what sleeps beneath it. At dusk, when the shadows fall long and dark over the water, the bridge turns into a silhouette, less a structure, more a suggestion. The old timber groans, not just with age, but with memory. You can feel it if you stand still long enough, that low hum in the soles of your boots. That almost word, brushing past your ears, just beyond the edge of hearing. Some call it imagination. Others, the ones who truly know this land, they know better. In the outback, doubt is a luxury you can't afford. And every creak of wood out here is a whisper from the old world, still echoing in the iron bones of the new, a testament to the enduring power of the unexplained. Now, for all its undeniable beauty, for all the life it brings to this parched land, the Namoi River, she also holds a dark allure, a dangerous mystique that's drawn countless souls into her depths, sometimes with the most tragic of consequences. Beyond the documented historical disappearances, beyond the whispered legends of ancient spirits, there's an undeniable, almost magnetic power in her currents. A silent, insidious invitation that some poor buggers find utterly impossible to resist. This ain't about malevolent spirits, mind you. It's about the raw, untamed force of nature, pure and simple, and the human tendency to seriously underestimate it. She's a beautiful beast, the Namoi, but she demands respect, and if you don't give it, she'll take it one way or another. Local accounts, passed down through generations, often shared with a grim, cautionary tone, speak volumes about the river's utterly unpredictable nature. One moment, she can be calm as a mill pond, reflecting the vast blue Aussie sky like a perfect mirror. The next, she can unleash sudden, powerful currents that can drag even the strongest swimmer under in a heartbeat. There are hidden submerged obstacles, ancient gnarled tree roots that twist like knotted fingers, just waiting to snag an unsuspecting leg. And then there are the deep, cold pools, black as pitch, that can trap even the most experienced swimmers, holding them in an icy embrace. These are the practical, physical dangers, sure, but they feed into a much larger, more chilling narrative of the river as a place of both profound wonder and immense, unforgiving peril. Her beauty, mate, can be deceptive, masking a power that demands absolute reverence, and sometimes she claims a terrible price. For those who are drawn to her mysteries, to the whispers and the shadows that dance along her banks, the Namoi offers a unique, almost spiritual and deeply immersive experience. But it's an experience that always comes with a stark, unspoken warning. Approach with the utmost reverence, with a healthy dose of fear, for this river holds not just ancient wisdom, not just the echoes of the dreaming, but also the grim, silent stories of those who misjudged her might. It's a powerful reminder that in the vast, untamed outback, even the most serene and picturesque landscapes can hide profound, unseen dangers. The line between the natural and the supernatural, between the tangible and the ethereal, can sometimes blur, especially when the water starts to whisper your name, soft and familiar, like an old friend calling you home. Fishermen, the ones who spend their lives on these waters, they tell stories of certain spots where no line holds, no matter how strong the gear, no matter how skilled the hand. Something pulls, they say. Not with brute force, not like a snagged log, but with an eerie, persistent insistence, a slow, constant drag, like an unseen hand gently inviting you deeper, deeper into the murky depths. One old fella tried to anchor his tinny near a bend known for monster cod. Said he saw the surface swell just once, a massive silent heave, like something enormous exhaled from below. The very next moment, his engine cut out. Dead. He drifted, helpless until morning, watched from the bank by something he never saw but still dreams about, a chilling presence that lingered in the shadows. Even the animals, mate, they seem to sense it. Dogs, usually fearless, will refuse certain paths along the riverbank, their hackles raised, a low growl rumbling in their chests. Cattle, normally placid, will veer wide, giving certain stretches of the water a wide berth. Birds, usually chattering away, will go eerily silent in pockets of air that feel heavy, oppressive, like a storm that never quite breaks. These ain't coincidences, Cobber. Not out here. Out here patterns mean something. They're how the land speaks, how the ancient forces communicate with those who are willing to listen. And when the Namoi grows still, when the sky turns that deep golden hue just before sunset, that's when you feel it most. That thin, almost imperceptible line between wonder and profound, terrifying danger. Because the Namoi, she doesn't take you in anger. She waits until you step close enough to listen, and then she whispers, soft, familiar, like she knows your name and always has, inviting you to become another one of her enduring mysteries. Beyond the known dangers, beyond the documented disappearances that haunt the Namoi's banks, there are stories, whispered low and quick, of unseen watchers. These ain't your typical ghosts, mate. These are entities that observe from the shadows, their presence felt more than seen, a prickling sensation on the back of your neck when you're alone by the water. They're not necessarily malevolent, but their constant, silent vigil adds another layer to the river's already enigmatic character. They're the guardians of ancient knowledge, the silent witnesses to centuries of human interaction with this powerful living waterway. They've seen it all, from the first footsteps of the Kamilaroi to the clatter of the gold prospectors, and their silence ain't passive. It's intent, a deep, knowing stillness that demands respect. Some folks, they reckon they've felt a distinct feeling of being followed, a subtle shift in the air, even when there's not a soul in sight. Others speak of fleeting glimpses of figures, tall and thin, just on the periphery of their vision. Shapes that shimmer and melt into the dense bush before they can be properly identified. These experiences, they're often dismissed as mere imagination, or the tricks of light and shadow playing games with your mind. But for those who've truly felt them, who've had that undeniable sense of being observed, the feeling is undeniably real, a constant, unnerving reminder that we are never truly alone in these ancient, sprawling landscapes. It's a feeling that stays with you long after you've left the river's edge, a subtle echo in the back of your mind. No one can quite agree on what these watchers look like, if they even have a solid form at all. Some say you don't see them with your eyes, mate. You only sense them, a cold spot in the air, a sudden hush in the bush. Others claim to have glimpsed tall, thin figures moving between the gnarled old gum trees, their shape flickering like heat haze on a scorching summer's day, impossible to pin down, impossible to truly comprehend. One old shearer, a tough-as-nails bloke who'd seen it all, swore he saw eyes, not glowing, not monstrous, not filled with malice, just watching, calm, ancient. Like the gaze of something that's been here long before language, long before humans even dreamt of walking this land, and expects nothing from you but stillness, a quiet acknowledgement of its enduring presence. It's a look that cuts right through you, a silent question that hangs in the air. The Kamilaroi people, they don't name these watchers in the open, not casually. That silence, it's a boundary, a sacred line drawn out of deep respect, not out of fear. Because these watchers, They ain't there to harm, not in the way a dingo hunts or a snake bites. They're there to guard, not people necessarily, but time, memory, law. They stand in the margins of the world, silent sentinels, ensuring certain things remain undisturbed, certain ancient truths are never forgotten. Their gaze, though, it carries a weight, a profound sense of ancient power that makes your breath shallow, your heartbeat loud and thumping in your ears. And if you turn too quickly, if you look too hard, if you try to force a glimpse, you might just catch a shimmer, a fleeting shape between the trunks that shouldn't move the way it does. And then it's gone, leaving behind that creeping, undeniable certainty. You've been measured, and for now, you've been left alone, a silent warning etched into your very soul. There was an old farmer near Carroll, a proper stubborn bloke who refused to work one particular field. Rich soil, ideal location, perfect for growing anything. But he said something just wasn't right about it. Every time he tried to plow it, his tools would break, engines would mysteriously fail. Once, the gate he'd latched shut the night before was found wide open in the morning, with no sign of tampering, no footprints in the dust. He just let the grass take it over, said it was better to leave the old ones their space, to respect the unseen boundaries. Then there are the footprints. Not big, not monstrous, not like any animal you've ever seen, just wrong, too narrow, toes too long, found near river bends where no one's been in days, where the ground is undisturbed. Locals, they learn not to follow them. Because some paths, mate, they're made to be seen, not walked. They're a silent warning, a boundary not to be crossed, a reminder that some mysteries are best left undisturbed. And always these watchers, they remain just out of reach, just beyond the veil of our understanding. They don't chase, they don't warn with words. They simply observe, waiting perhaps for something to tip out of balance, for someone to forget the old ways, to speak when silence is due. It's not punishment they bring, not in the human sense. It's correction, a gentle yet firm nudge back towards the ancient rhythm of the land. The Namoi, she doesn't hide them, mate, she honors them. Carries their reflections in slivers of moonlight, shows them in ripples when the moon's just right, a fleeting glimpse of the unseen. And if you're still, truly, utterly still, you might just feel it. Not fear, not even reverence, just a deep, profound understanding that you are being watched by something that doesn't need to explain itself, because it's always been here, and it always will be. A silent, enduring presence in the heart of the outback, a testament to the timeless mysteries that flow with the river. While the Namoi flows, carrying the weight of its ancient past, it also holds the echoes of countless forgotten lives. These aren't just the grand narratives of explorers or the tragic tales of early settlers. They're the quiet, personal stories, the ones that never made it into the history books but are etched into the very soul of the river. Every ripple, every shadow, every rustle of the reeds seems to carry a fragment of these untold experiences, a silent testament to the human drama that has unfolded along these banks for millennia. It's a profound sense of presence, a feeling that the land itself remembers even when human memory fades, a constant subtle hum of lives lived and lost, woven into the very fabric of this ancient waterway. This isn't about grand events or famous battles, mate. It's about the small, intimate moments, the everyday lives lived and lost, the hopes and fears of countless generations. It's about the silent struggles of the Kamilaroi people, their deep connection to this land, their dreaming stories that are woven into the very fabric of the river. And it's about the desperate courage of the early settlers, their triumphs and their tragedies, their relentless pursuit of a new life in a land that often proved unforgiving. The Namoi, she remembers the laughter of children playing on her banks, the quiet conversations of lovers, the desperate cries of those who were lost, and the silent tears of those who mourned. Every single emotion, every single experience, It's all absorbed into her ancient soul, becoming a part of her unending narrative. This river, she's a keeper of secrets, mate. Secrets that are older than any human memory, older than the very concept of time itself. She holds them close, deep within her murky depths, and sometimes, just sometimes, she lets a memory rise to the surface. It might be a fleeting glimpse of a shadow, a sudden chill in the air, or a whisper carried on the wind that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. These aren't just random occurrences, they're echoes, fragments of the past that refuse to stay buried, demanding to be acknowledged. They're a reminder that the land has its own consciousness, its own way of communicating, and if you're willing to listen, truly listen, you'll hear stories that will chill you to the bone and fill you with a sense of profound wonder. It's a memory that's not bound by time, not confined to the linear progression of human history. It's a cyclical memory, one that flows with the seasons, with the rise and fall of the river's waters. It's a memory that's constantly being renewed, constantly being enriched by every new life that touches its banks, every new story that unfolds in its presence. The Namoi, she's a living testament to the enduring power of the past, a constant reminder that we are all just temporary visitors in a land that has seen it all, a land that remembers everything. And if you spend enough time out here, if you open yourself up to the whispers of the land, you'll start to feel it too. That deep, resonant hum of memory, a connection to something far greater than yourself. This isn't just about spooky stories or unexplained phenomena, cobber. This is about understanding the very soul of Australia, about connecting with the ancient spirit of the land. The Namoi River, she's a conduit to that spirit, a living bridge between the past and the present. She's a reminder that the outback is more than just a landscape. It's a living, breathing entity with its own consciousness, its own memories, and its own way of communicating. And if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to open your heart and your mind, you'll discover a world of mysteries that will forever change the way you see this incredible country. The Namoi, she's waiting. She's always waiting. And she's got stories to tell. Stories that will stay with you long after you've left her banks, echoes of a past that refuses to be forgotten. And as these echoes of the forgotten linger in the air, mate, the Namoi River continues its silent work, meticulously recording every life, every secret, every tragedy within its vast, unwritten ledger. This isn't a book you can find in any library, nor a scroll kept in a dusty archive. It's a record etched into the very currents, whispered by the wind through the ancient river gums, and held in the deep, dark pools that reflect the endless Australian sky. It's a testament to the countless lives that have touched these waters, leaving their indelible mark, even if their stories are never fully told in human words. The river, she doesn't forget, even when we do, carrying the weight of history in her timeless flow. Think about the sheer number of souls who've passed through this land, cobber. From the ancient Kamilaroi, whose entire existence was intertwined with the river's rhythm, to the hardy pioneers who tried to tame her, to the modern-day folks who still seek solace or fortune along her banks. Each one leaves a trace, a ripple in the fabric of time. And for those who vanish, for those whose stories end abruptly and mysteriously, the Namoi becomes their final chronicler. She holds their secrets, their last moments, their unspoken fears, all absorbed into her ancient memory. It's a chilling thought that the river knows more about these disappearances than any detective ever could, a silent witness to countless unsolved puzzles, her waters flowing over truths that remain hidden from the world. There are old-timers who swear they can feel it, mate. A heaviness in the air near certain bends, a cold spot that lingers even on the hottest day, a sense of profound sadness that settles deep in your bones. They say these are the places where the river's ledger is most active, where the echoes of the lost are strongest. It's not about ghosts in the traditional sense, not specters rattling chains. It's more like a residual energy, a faint imprint of lives cut short, of questions left unanswered, of journeys that simply ended. The river doesn't judge. She simply absorbs, holding these fragments of human experience within her eternal flow, a silent, unblinking record of all that has transpired along her ancient course. And what about the items she occasionally gives up? A rusted buckle from a settler's boot, an ancient stone tool, a piece of jewelry that glints briefly in the sunlight before being reclaimed by the current. These aren't just random debris, mate. They're punctuation marks in the river's unwritten ledger, tiny clues to stories that may never be fully deciphered. Each artifact, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, carries with it a whisper of the past, a fragment of a life lived, a moment frozen in time. They're like silent messengers from another era, offering a fleeting glimpse into the mysteries that the Namoi holds so closely, inviting us to ponder the lives of those who once held them and the circumstances that led to their ultimate, often tragic separation from their owners. So while we may never fully read the Namoi's unwritten ledger, mate, its presence is undeniable. It's a constant reminder that this land, this river, holds a depth of history and mystery that far surpasses our human comprehension. It's a testament to the enduring power of the Outback, a place where the past is never truly past, but flows on, silently, eternally, through the very veins of the land. And if you listen closely enough, if you open your heart to the whispers of the wind and the murmur of the water, you might just catch a glimpse of the stories she holds, the countless lives recorded in her silent, profound, and utterly captivating, unwritten ledger. It's a humbling experience, one that reminds us of our fleeting presence in a landscape that has witnessed millennia of human drama and will continue to do so long after we are gone. And so, mate, as the Namoi River flows on, carrying its unwritten ledger of lives and mysteries, it also weaves an enduring legacy. This legacy isn't just about the past. It's about how these ancient stories, these whispers from the dreaming and the echoes of colonial struggles, continue to shape the present and influence the future of this land and its people. It's a testament to the power of narrative, how tales passed down through generations, whether around a Kamilaroi campfire or in hushed tones in a settler's hut, become part of the very fabric of a place, influencing perceptions and instilling a deep, often unsettling respect for the unknown. The river, she's not just a physical presence, she's a cultural touchstone, a living repository of collective memory. For the Kamilaroi people, this legacy is a continuous, living connection to their ancestors and their country. The stories of Mulunijan-style spirits, of the river's sacred power, and of the warnings she carries are not just folklore. They are vital teachings, guiding principles for living in harmony with the land. They remind us that the spiritual realm is not separate from the physical, but deeply intertwined, and that every action, every thought, has a ripple effect that extends far beyond our immediate understanding. This deep spiritual connection ensures that the river's mysteries remain alive, not as mere curiosities, but as integral parts of a profound cultural heritage, a constant reminder of the ancient wisdom that flows through the heart of this land. And for those of European descent, the river's legacy is a complex tapestry of awe, fear, and a grudging respect for a land that often defied their attempts at conquest. The tales of vanished settlers, of unsettling acoustic echoes, and of the river's indifferent power serve as a stark reminder of the Outback's untamable spirit. They speak to the human struggle against overwhelming odds, the desperate search for meaning in a vast and often hostile environment, and the enduring mystery of those who simply disappeared without a trace. These stories, though born from a different cultural lens, contribute to the river's mystique, adding layers of intrigue and a sense of shared human experience in the face of the unknown, binding together the diverse narratives that have unfolded along these ancient banks. This enduring legacy, mate, it's not just about the stories themselves, it's about the questions they provoke. Questions about our place in the natural world, about the boundaries between the known and the unknown, and about the profound connection between land, memory, and identity. The Namoi River, with its ancient whispers and its unwritten ledger, forces us to confront these deeper truths, to look beyond the surface and acknowledge the hidden currents that shape our understanding of this country. It's a humbling experience, one that reminds us that some mysteries are meant to remain unsolved, their power lying not in their resolution, but in their enduring ability to inspire wonder, fear, and a deep sense of connection to something far greater than ourselves. So the Namoi River, she flows on, a silent, powerful testament to an enduring legacy, a legacy of ancient wisdom, of colonial struggle, and of mysteries that refuse to be silenced. She's a living, breathing story, constantly unfolding, constantly evolving, yet always rooted in the deep red earth of this ancient land. And for those of us who dare to listen, who dare to look beyond the surface, the Namoi offers a glimpse into the very soul of Australia. A soul that is wild, untamed, and forever shrouded in the whispers of the past. It's a legacy that will continue to captivate and challenge us, a reminder that the true heart of the Outback beats with the rhythm of ancient waters, carrying secrets that will echo through time, long after we are gone. And so, mate, the Namoi River, having revealed its ancient whispers, its unwritten ledger, and its enduring legacy, continues its journey, a living, breathing entity whose story is far from over. Her flow is an unending song, a constant murmur that carries the weight of millennia, a symphony of history, mystery, and the unbreakable spirit of the land. It's a melody that resonates deep within the soul, a reminder that some truths are felt, not just seen, and that the deepest mysteries often lie hidden in plain sight, waiting for those with the courage to truly listen. The river, she's a timeless storyteller, and her narrative is as vast and as deep as the land itself. This isn't just about the past, Cobber, it's about the present and the future. The Namoi River, she's still here, still flowing, still holding her secrets close. She's a constant reminder that the Outback is a place of profound power, a place where the veil between worlds can feel thin and where the ancient spirits of the land are always present. Her waters continue to nourish, to sustain, and to witness, absorbing new stories, new lives, new mysteries into her eternal embrace. She's a living testament to the resilience of nature, a symbol of continuity in a world that is constantly changing, a silent guardian of truths that transcend human understanding. For those who've dared to listen to her whispers, who felt the chill of her ancient memories, the Namoi leaves an indelible mark. It's a connection that goes beyond mere curiosity. It's a profound understanding of the land's spirit, a respect for its untamed beauty and its hidden depths. The stories we've explored, from the Mulunijan spirits to the vanished settlers, are not just isolated incidents. They are threads in a larger tapestry woven by the river herself, a testament to the complex and often unsettling relationship between humanity and the wild, untamed heart of Australia. The river, she teaches us humility, patience, and a deep reverence for the unknown, lessons that resonate long after we've left her banks. And as the sun sets over the Namoi, painting the sky with hues of fire and shadow, you can almost hear it, the river's unending song. It's a lullaby of ancient times, a lament for the lost, a celebration of life, and a promise of mysteries yet to unfold. It's a call to adventure, a whisper of the unknown, an invitation to delve deeper into the heart of the Outback, where the land itself breathes with secrets. The Namoi. She's more than just a river. She's a living legend, a timeless enigma, a constant source of wonder and fear, a place where the past and the present merge, and where the whispers of eternity are carried on the current. So mate, the journey along the Namoi River may end for us here, but her story, her song, it flows on, eternally. She'll continue to hold her secrets, to whisper her warnings, and to draw those brave enough to listen into her ancient embrace. The Namoi River mysteries are not just tales. They are a living, breathing part of the Australian landscape, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown, and a reminder that the true heart of the outback beats with the rhythm of ancient waters, carrying secrets that will echo through time, long after we are gone. And for those who truly listen, the river's unending song will resonate in their souls, a powerful, haunting melody that speaks of a land both beautiful and terrifying, a land that never truly lets go.